everybody, from Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. It is time once again to launch a season of Inside Wofford basketball. First, Wofford's women's head coach, Jimmy Garrity. Kevin Giltner on the men's side will join us a little bit later, always sponsored by Yokohama. All right. 10th year, brother.
Wow.
Can you believe it? It's they say time flies. Do decades fly? It seems like you just popped up the road from Anderson just a short time ago.
Easy on the decade thing. That sounds like a long, long time, but yeah, it really does. And I know you and I talked about this in the past, like you think I've been here for like 5-6 years, and holy cow, it's 9-10. And so, but yeah, Wofford is a special place, and made up of special people, and our program keeps getting better and building upon a previous year. So super excited about year 10.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't seem like year 10 because college basketball changes so much from time to time. But this year's edition, obviously we've had a chance to take a look at everything. The thing that strikes me initially, Jimmy, is the opportunity. You lose players every year.
Yeah.
You lost a lot of leadership last year. You had some players that were here for 4 years that did some great things, and obviously, there's a void there. I'm struck by how some of the players who were, kind of contributing players last year have stepped up. Queen Akiwu, Tony Warren. Now they've lifted their game to kind of match that void that needed to be filled.
Well, we talk about that, when presented an opportunity, what are you going to do with it? And then both of those guys, like Queen, I'm going to tell you, Queen has worked on her game throughout the summer. She took the weights, the conditioning, all those she made a high priority. And she's got with the coaching staff to get better in the gym and improving her craft and game, and she's just been outstanding for us, a big difference maker for us. And then you mentioned Tony, so talk about her a little bit. Tony's really talented, and Tony just keeps getting better and better, and she has the confidence right now. Her last 2-3 games have been really, really impressive. So I'm just excited about them both, and I think they're scheduled to have special seasons.
Molly Massengale and Maddie Heiss have kind of picked up where they left off last year, and every year you seem to find a freshman who comes in and makes an impact. Gabby Mundy is that freshman this year.
She's a tough player. Yeah, Gabby from Liberty Hill, Texas, and she's come in, ran the point. That's not easy for a newcomer, a freshman, 18-year-old going against 21, 22, 23 sometime year old young ladies. So she's just been outstanding for us. She's very confident. She can really guard on the defensive end. She's always up in our office. She's like a sponge, and she loves to get in the gym too. So she's going to be a special player.
Does this team have an identity yet? I look at watch the games either in person or on TV, and the rebounding jumps out. The physicality jumps out, but it's early. Does a team develop an identity this early in the non-conference season?
Well, we try to. Our players have really got together. What do we want to be known for? Right. And they came back with, Coach, I think we can be pretty good defensively. So this team is developing, and their identity is showing each week. And you look the beginning of November to now, the beginning of December, mid-December, we're a lot better than we were. I think this team is going to continue to grow from December to January, and then January to February, February to March, and hopefully we're playing our best basketball January, February, March. But they've been great. Great teammates to one another. Practices are a lot of fun, very competitive practices. So, their identity is growing, but I think we want to be known as a scrappy defensive group.
When we come back, we'll see what the Terriers can do moving forward. They won 3 of their last 4, but some big tests ahead. We'll also take a look at the Southern Conference and get you ready for everything coming up the end of December, the beginning of January. It's all ahead here on Inside Wofford Basketball. Welcome back. Well, Terriers on a little bit of a roll, winning 3 of your last 4 games. Some really good efforts. I think the UNC Asheville game stood out to me, obviously. I think the Gardner-Webb game was a solid game in a hostile environment, things like that. What has risen to the forefront? Have leaders emerged on this team? We've already talked about the identity, but what's been the key over the last couple of weeks?
Well, against Asheville, I thought our defensive effort was really, really good. And then we scored it. We've been having trouble scoring the ball. And so, when we take care of the ball, we're pretty good. Mm-hmm. We're hard to beat. And I think we're dynamic offensively, that we can score on the inside and out and really score in transition. You're right, the Gardner-Webb game was a defensive struggle. But to hold them to 41 points, and you talked about that's a tough gym to play in. So just great effort there. And then just this past Thursday night to play so well, I thought on both ends against Charleston Southern. I thought our defensive effort, and they're hard to guard. They play dribble drive. It's a lot of one-on-one basketball, and you got to keep them in front, keep them out of the paint. The toughest thing is to guard without fouling. And we just did an excellent job on that. And then I thought our offense, we played clean. And I think we had a total of 8 turnovers and scored the ball too. And so, again, the identity part, we talked about that a little bit with the defense, and I think that has really shown up in the last 3 games too.
Now, moving forward, every year I tell him this: fire the schedule maker, because boy, you've got some tests coming up. He's the schedule maker, by the way. Ole Miss, East Carolina, Georgia Tech. What do those games do for you in the long run, other than, the girls get a chance to play in a big setting, in a big arena, which is always fun, get a lot of people with some eyes on them. But what does it do for you basketball-wise before you head into the Southern Conference Wars?
Well, we always build the schedule to help us in the conference games, so January and February and March. And I think this schedule this season has really reflected that. You mentioned Ole Miss. We go to them this week. Coach Yo and I are friends, have known each other for a long time. Was on the same staff together at Clemson. They're really good, 13 in the country. It's going to be a hostile environment in Oxford. Both schools are on exam break right now. So, and then we play East Carolina. I tell you one thing, we didn't realize all the non-conference games we were playing, most of them have been playing a zone. And so we've had to put in zone offensive that we hadn't in the past. But, again, that's been good for us. It's all to prepare us for conference play, and I think this year's is a direct reflection on that.
So you'll be ready when a SoCon team fires a zone at you, you least expect it. Right. Let's talk about the conference so far. Everybody kind of watches each other from afar and says, we're not watching, but you're watching, Anything jump out at you about the Southern Conference so far?
I feel like it's a lot of parity, games, winning games that we thought they should win. Some have lost some games that we thought they should win. They've won some games that we thought they were not going to win. So every year the teams are different in how they come together. And this is really, that's what, November and December are about. Can you come together as a team and then start playing your best basketball come conference play? And I think everybody's figuring that out within the conference.
Well, keep up the good work. You and your staff always do such a great job. Fun team to watch so far this year. And we can't wait to see what happens as the season rolls on. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, when we come back, we'll switch gears and talk Wofford men's basketball with head coach Kevin Giltner next on Inside Wofford Basketball, brought to you by Yokohama.
It doesn't matter if you're 8 years old or 80 years old, your body is your strongest tool. Spartanburg Regional Sports Medicine Institute is here to push you to the next level. With 2 convenient locations, our doctors can diagnose, treat, and heal at our North Grove Medical Park and Star Center offices to get you back in the gym, in the game, and to the next level. We never quit because you never quit. For more information, call 560-BONE.
Welcome back. Inside Wofford Basketball rolls on with Terrier men's head coach Kevin Giltner, and you and I were just talking. You haven't even been here 3 months, and we've got so much to talk about. What has your life been like? What has your family's life been like since late September when this all came together?
The very first thing I'll say is coaches' wives are superhumans. They are superhumans. It's been awesome, though. Like, to tell my wife, hey, we're up and moving, was crazy, but also amazing because she's from here and it's Wofford. This is home. I mean, there was zero hesitation on any of our brains, and it's been wild. We have not moved into our house yet, which is happening. What's today? The 8th. We are moving into our house on the night of the 11th.
I'm busy. I'm sorry. I can't help you move.
Yeah. You don't want to. Tons of pink and purple toys for the 2 girls. But it's been wild. It's been wild, but a good wild. I felt so welcomed. The guys, the staff, the administration, the community have made it really, really easy on me. I'm just so thankful for that.
Not to dwell on anything because we got a lot of basketball to talk about, but what you had to do with, quite frankly, players you didn't recruit, coaches you didn't hire. What was that process like, and how have you come out on the other end as a fully functioning, pretty good basketball team?
Yeah, awkward first couple of days. But these guys they're hoopers. They want to get on the court, and that is our common language. That's our common ground. So day 1, hour 1, we were on the court. I got announced at 4 p.m. I walk in the room. We have a quick meeting. Let's go get it on. And we went on the court and we practiced. And I think that was a good move. I think that was the right move. We went out there and we sweated together. And basketball kind of brings people together in a weird way. But yeah, I thought I was walking into a hornet's nest with the staff and a team I didn't bring in here, but they've been great. That is the least of my worries. My personal life might be a disaster, but those guys have been great. The staff has been great. I couldn't be happier with where we're at.
It's a fun group of guys. It's a very interesting mix. Teams evolve throughout the years.
Yeah.
We're just kind of getting started. Has this team figured out its identity yet, or will that come later on, do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll come later on. We're still trying to figure that out. They're still trying to figure out who I am and how I respond after wins, how I respond after losses. Our practice habits are really good. I like the way this team works. I love coming down here and being with them every day, but we don't have a true identity yet, and we need to get there. But we have the makings of a really, really unselfish team. We have the makings of a really good, you're going to watch us play and be like, man, that ball moves. Man, that ball is being shared. Man, they play fast. They're aggressive. We weren't that way the other night versus Elon. However, that's majority. I mean, we've had 12 contests, 10 games and 2 scrimmages. And of those 12, they've all kind of had that kind of feel to them where, man, we got 22 assists, 23 assists a game. Defensively, we got to get a lot better, and we got to get a little bit tougher. But our identity's not there yet, but I'm not sure anybody's is.
Right. When we come back, we'll go over the last part of non-conference play. We'll look ahead to the Southern Conference wars, and we'll identify some of the leaders on this Terrier team with a whole bunch of new characters. It's ahead here on Inside Wofford Basketball. Welcome back. As of this taping, the Terriers sitting at 6-4 in non-conference play, playing the second toughest schedule in the Southern Conference.
Really? I did not know
in terms of win-loss record of teams and things like that. You've had some moments. Some of the key things that stand out to me: the road wins at Bellarmine and EKU, a great home win here in the first home game against Milwaukee. Did they give you flashes of what this team could be?
Yeah. I think, getting the monkey off your back of winning on the road is huge. You don't want to have 0 road wins going into league play. So proving that we can win on the road not only once but twice was really good for a young team that we have with no seniors. So, sometimes they don't even know what's hard and what's easy because they're so young. But doing that on the road is awesome against 2 really good teams. But beating Milwaukee here at home, who is probably more athletic than us, probably bigger than us, probably more experienced than us, picked higher than us in their respective league. So for us to win that game shows what we can do, and I think we can always lean on that as we go throughout the year, like remember this, remember that. So it just gives us kind of some life that there's some tough games ahead, whether it's non-conference or conference games. We can do some cool things.
Leadership is a hard thing to identify when
Yeah.
your 3 returning players were all freshmen last year, and then you bring in the guys from the outside, and how that thing meshes together.
Yeah.
Kamari Holmes has been outstanding. Different player than he was last year,
Yeah.
certainly. Certainly some of the older guys that you brought in, a Caden Vasco, a Nils Mahovsky, things like that. Rick Sterling has been a breath of fresh air,
Yes.
too. In terms of leadership, it's hard to force that on
Yes.
guys. Does it have to naturally evolve?
It does. It does. I don't really subscribe to naming a leader at the beginning of the year. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm still learning too, Jim. But leadership happens organically, I think. And you do have to challenge guys, and you do have to tell them what it looks like, and you got to tell them this is how it should behave, and all those types of things. But at the end of the day, when adversity strikes, that's whenever leaders really emerge. And if you say, hey, Jim's going to be our leader, but, in those adverse moments, if Jim doesn't step up, well, is he really the leader? So it has to happen over time. And through some of the adversity we've faced so far, it has emerged. But there's young guys on our team that are doing some big things. And also leadership looks different for certain people. Like Kamari is not necessarily the most vocal guy at times, but his work ethic is second to none. He is in here every single morning, regardless, staying after practice. People are following his example. But then we have other guys like Vasco and even Brendan Rigsby, who is 23 years old, by the way. They're really vocal leaders, and people trust them. But we got others that lead too in their own way. Luke Flynn, a prime example of kind of a do both. He's got great wisdom with his voice, but he also works his butt off. So you could say that about anybody, but leadership is it's evolving. We still need to take a step in that direction, and we're close.
The freshmen aren't scared either. We've certainly talked about Brian Sumter and Chase Watley and Max Ortega and Jaden Tyler. I hate to name names because we're always going to leave somebody out, but they have shown that they're up to the battle as well. All right, so moving into your last couple of non-conference games, a great road test, Gardner-Webb, tough place to play, Wichita State, big-time program out there. What do you want to see from this team before we jump into the SoCon play?
Yeah, I want to see us be the best version of ourselves, which we've seen. We didn't necessarily do that versus Elon, and that kind of bothers me. But we did in the second half. So I want our team to respond and be who we are, and that's an unselfish team that plays the right way, and no one out-toughs us. And we got to play with a little bit more sense of urgency than we did in the Elon game. So I want to see that. I'm going to challenge our guys, like, listen, you can lose to anybody. You can beat anybody. It's all about your approach. And like I said, they've been great in practice. They've been great in shoot-arounds. They've been diving into scouting reports. So I'm not concerned about it, but we are a young team, and sometimes you have to learn lessons the hard way, and we did versus Elon. So I'm excited about the response for these two.
See how easy this head coaching thing
It's
is?
so
you
easy.
just come out here, you do an interview, and you're ready to go, and get used to it. We'll have many more of these. Thanks for your time, and we'll be on the bus and on the plane the next week or so.
Yes, we will. I appreciate it, and super glad to be here and thankful for everybody being so welcoming.
All right. We appreciate Kevin's time. We appreciate our staff behind the camera. We'll do this every other week now as the season begins. We'll do a women's show one week and then a men's show the next week. So also thank you to Jimmy Garrity for joining us. And for Kevin Giltner and Jimmy Garrity, I'm Jim Noble. Thanks for watching Inside Wofford Basketball presented by Yokohama, and we will see you next time.